The final cut is a masterpiece.
But the first draft is a war zone. This is between the frames.
The opening scene of The Social Network is a verbal blitzkrieg.
In a crowded Harvard bar, Mark Zuckerberg and his girlfriend Erica Albright trade rapid, overlapping sentences. The camera pushes in, the score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross pulses underneath. It ends with a devastating dismissal. You are going to go through life thinking that girls do ain't like you because you are a nerd.
It'll be because you're an asshole. This scene feels inevitable. A perfect character grenade. But the original assembly was slower, more conventional.
The edit had to solve a fundamental problem. How do you make a film about depositions and coding feel like the most urgent thing in the world?
What happened between these frames to create the Ferrari engine pacing of a modern classic?
David Fincher shot the film with his signature precision, multiple takes, exacting framing.
Aaron Sorkin's script was dense, brilliant, and packed with dialogue.
The first assembled cut by the editors was, by some accounts, a clear and faithful presentation of the script.
But it lacked the relentless, forward-crashing momentum Fincher and Sorkin envisioned.
The dual timeline structure, the creation of Facebook intertwined with the two separate lawsuits felt explanatory, not propulsive. The crisis point was internal. The film risked being a smart, talky legal drama instead of a visceral experience of ambition, betrayal, and social velocity. The genius was on the page and in the footage, but the heartbeat, the nervous energy that defines the film, was still missing. The raw materials were there, but the engine wasn't firing on all cylinders. It was a well-made car, but it wasn't a Ferrari. Not yet.
The intervention came from editors Kirk Baxter and Angus in close collaboration with Fincher. Their fix wasn't a single tweak, but a multi-layered assault on the conventional rules of pacing and structure.
First, the overlap.
They began letting dialogue from the next scene start a beat before the visual cut, and letting it spill over after a cut.
This created a feeling of incessant, overwhelming verbal information, mirroring the constant flow of data online.
It puts you inside Mark's head, constantly processing, never resting.
The audience feels like they're struggling to keep up, just like everyone in Mark's orbit. Then, they weaponized the dual timeline.
Instead of using the lawsuit depositions as simple flashback triggers, they treated them as a constant, ticking clock narrative happening in the present. They intercut the two lawsuits, the one with the Winklevoss twins and the one with Eduardo Saverin, not just with the past, but with each other.
This creates a complex, three-stranded braid of narrative. The audience is forced to become a detective, constantly assembling the true story from competing perspectives, all in real time. You are not just being told a story.
You are actively piecing together the fractured memories of a friendship and a company being torn apart. And finally, they found rhythm in everything. They cut to the rhythm of Sorkin's dialogue and Reznor's score, not just a visual action.
A line of code compiling could have the same rhythmic weight as a thrown punch. The famous face smash creation sequence is the ultimate example.
It's cut like a montage, but the edits are driven by the rhythmic intensity of Marcus' focused rage and the building traffic on the site.
Each keystroke, each click, each line of dialogue becomes a percussive beat in a symphony of creation and destruction. This editing didn't just tell the story. It was the story of a mind moving faster than the world around it, leaving a trail of damaged relationships in its wake. It was the cinematic equivalent of a high-speed data stream, and it was revolutionary. This transformation completely altered the film's entire reception and its cultural impact. It wasn't seen as just a Facebook movie. It was hailed as a defining film of its era, a portrait of a generation, and it rightfully won the Oscar for Best Editing. The unsung heroes were Baxter and Wall, who operationalized Fincher and Sorkin's vision into a new grammar for tech-age tension.
They took abstract concepts and made them feel physical.
The creative lesson here is profound. It's about externalizing the internal. The edit became the vehicle to make intellectual processes, coding, legal strategy, social climbing feel tactile, visceral, and thrilling.
It proved that pace isn't just about how fast things move on screen, but about how urgently information is delivered and how quickly context is shifted.
The edit itself became a character in the film, representing the relentless, disruptive force of the technology being born. So what's the actionable legacy for creators?
It's a simple, powerful principle. Edit for psychology, not just geography. The Social Network's edits aren't just about moving from a dorm room to a courtroom.
They're about moving from jealousy to betrayal to cold, hard calculation, often in the space of a single cut.
For anyone making content, the lesson is to let the emotional and intellectual logic of your scene drive your cuts, not just the physical action.
The most powerful pacing comes from aligning the viewer's mental processing speed with your protagonists. You make them feel what the character feels: the pressure, the excitement, the anxiety.
So, what other film do you think uses editing as its primary storytelling weapon?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And for more deep dives into the craft of filmmaking, subscribe to Between the Frames. Thanks for watching.